Hello everyone, welcome to my video on weighing. Weighing is when you take two arguments and you say, even if both of these arguments are true, here's why my argument is more important and should matter more in the round. This usually happens at the end of the round, and it can be easy to forget about because you focus so much on showing why your opponent's arguments are wrong, but it's really important because this is what the judge does at the end of the round. When they sit down, they say, I have arguments on both sides, both teams did a great job warranting them, so maybe I don't believe the rebuttals. What should I care about more? So even if you think you've rebutted arguments, you should still try and weigh all the arguments. Generally, you pick like two main arguments, one on your side and one on your opponent's side, the arguments you think were the most important, and you compare between them. And you're trying to pick your argument that will be more important than anything that they've said. I'm going to work, one mnemonic that I sometimes use for coming up with ways to compare arguments is prompts. I'm going to go through the weighing mechanisms that are in this mnemonic in an example round and show how I might weigh. So one example round is whether we should replace means-tested welfare with universal basic income. One argument in favor would be that with UBI, we reach the people who are so vulnerable that they wouldn't be able to apply for means-tested welfare. And an argument on the other side would be that means-tested welfare is less expensive because we don't have to pay for money going to rich people as well. So I'm going to pretend I'm an op and do some weighing with prompts. The first word in prompt is prerequisite. And so one way I might weigh these is it might say, in order for you to even do universal basic income, you need to have enough money to be able to do that. And because we don't think you'll have enough money, it doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to reach the most vulnerable people anyways because you don't have the money to implement this. The second one, PR, is reversibility. If universal basic income doesn't work, you've invested all this money into it, it's really hard to switch back. But means-tested welfare, because it costs so less, is much easier to implement and much easier to tinker with if it turns out that it doesn't work. Another argument is, the third one, O, otherization. Are there like discriminatory impacts that we might want to think about? I could argue with means-tested welfare, I can give more money to people who have been like harmed in the past and therefore we should be focusing more on these people so I can address discriminatory impact. For PROM, magnitude, with means-tested welfare, I can ensure that my money goes directly to people who need it the most, who are affected the most. And T, time frame, it's probably it's probably easier to set up means-tested welfare because it already exists. It'll take a long time before universal basic income can be implemented. And the last one, prompts, is scope, which is how many people are affected. TBH, I'm probably losing on that one. Means-tested welfare is always going to affect less people. So what I needed to do is show why the weighing mechanisms that I picked, and I probably shouldn't pick all of them because some of them were a bit of a stretch, are more important than the weighing mechanism that they could pick, because there's arguments on both sides, there's usually weighing mechanisms on both sides. So you're making arguments for your weighing mechanisms to show why those are the most important weighing mechanisms. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed the debate.